Welcome, welcome. We are playing Ex Novo again. Guess who forgot to grab his dice? It's me. I did that. It's always entertaining to watch the automated captions struggle. They do their best, but golly, do they not succeed sometimes. Okay, so we need 3d6 for Ex Novo, and we have those. Ooh, I bonked my mic. I'm sorry about that. So, down in the bottom left, over the chat, which is not acceptable. Let me move this. We're going to put it right here. Actually, hang on. While I'm talking about it, we'll have it larger. So this is the rest of my campaign setting. You all who watched the previous Ex Novo stream know a little bit about Karsus. Let me show Karsus. Yeah. This smaller image, which isn't showing up on screen for some reason, is Karsus. Why is the Karsus image not showing up on screen? Hello? I've changed the folder name now. So this is Karsus. That's Karsus there on the screen. This is not Karsus. I've named it literally not Karsus because there are 4 continents here. Each of these some of these continents don't have a name yet. Some of them do. Let me open my notes here because I have noted down a continent's name. In my DM notes, there is one of these continents has a name. True Guy, spelled like this. True Guy is one of these continents. I'm thinking that True Guy is this polar continent here, and it's what we're going to focus on. Because the rest of these continents have a lot of cities, and I haven't decided. Obviously, I want to make Ex Novo cities with all of these, but I think I want to get True Guy done first, because it's been mentioned to at least one player. So, we're going to play Ex Novo. We're going to play Ex Novo with this smaller city here. I don't think you guys can see my pointer. The smaller city, the little orange square there. We're going to play Ex Novo with the smaller city there, and then we're going to play Ex Novo with the larger polar city, that little triangle there. Those little triangles are potential plot points that the party is going to bump into. Rather, the cities contain potential plot points. After or rather, as part of the current Anchime quest. I'm going to grab a different set of 3d6s because I like them better. Okay, so we're going to focus on True Guy, the small polar continent. So we can crop this image for now, just down to True Guy. Filters. Okay, it's that much, so... Okay, that's a little too much. Let's go down from there. Sorry, I know I should have cropped this during the setup time, but I did not decide which continent we were working with yet at that point. But I did not decide which continent was True Guy. I knew we were working with True Guy, but I wasn't sure. I recognize that Ex Novo is occasionally a lengthy game to play, so, as such, I decided to limit it to 2 cities. Magnus is off to the left trying to roll some dice. What do you think, bud? What did you roll? You rolled a 2 on the D10. Alright. How's about that D20 you're messing with? What do you think? What are you gonna roll? Oh, nope. He's too busy cleaning. So obviously we'll remove this cropping filter and focus on another continent later. But for now, we're focusing on True Guy here, which ideally at some point I'm going to run all these through Incarnate and get nice maps, but for now. Oh, look at there. Magnus rolled a 5 on the D12. Okay, so now that we've got our continent to focus on here. Buddy, are you having fun with the dice over here? Sorry, my cat is very occupied with my dice. I know you're. You know what? I'm gonna leave you out a D20, and you can play with that. So in the middle of the screen, in the middle of the gameplay area that we're used to seeing here, I have a paint window where we will decide. So I think we're going to start with the smaller city, the orange dot. So we need to replicate that shape on our paint window first. And then we can jump into ex novo. So, I'm going to set my mouse over there because it's not going to help me. Let me see if I can move this so I can see the image I need to work with. I can. Make the window slightly taller so I can actually make use of the full thing. There we go. Okay, so we've got the smaller city. It's in an area like so. We'll draw with blue so we can fill in the rest with. So we've got this little shwoo. Let's just say it looks something like this. And then we've got another smaller, larger bay type area here. Okay. Oh, Magnus, what are we rolling, baby? That's a 6. That's not very good. Try again. Magnus is very taken with my... Oh, you rolled a 1. That's bad luck. Yeah, you roll all the luck out of that dice. Hey, speaking of rolling, there we go. We got a 20. Okay, bud. Keep playing with that. Okay, we will paint bucket this. Doot. And then we've got our landmass. That's a little more exaggerated than I might like, actually. So let's fix that. Let's go with that. That kind of gets across what's happening on that screen, right? Yeah. Okay. So we paint bucket the sea there. Okay. And obviously, we know this is like a stony area. Oh, what'd you get? You got a 3. Good job. Keep trying. So we know that this is like a stone-colored area, so we can paint bucket that in, too. Okay. Now we actually start playing ex novo, as, like, rules is written. So, the first step of ex novo that we've kind of skipped over is the discussion of, like, what sort of themes we want here. Magnus is just having a blast over here. Roll an 11. Okay, go. Go, do the thing. I'm encouraging him to mess with that one particular die because it has bad luck. I lost my brain. One moment. One moment. Brain loading. The discussion phase. I just got a very startling Skype message from someone. Both myself and Razmatazik have fallen into a pit of Hanafuda on the 51 game compilation on the Switch. So we've just been both playing a lot of Hanafuda. Okay, so now we actually start with the first turn of Ex Novo is the discussion. It's like, alright, well, what kind of theme do we want here? The only things I have set in my brain for the not Karsus continents is that they are a lot lower magic than the like True Guy and the other continents are a lot lower magic than Karsus because lore reasons that I'll get into when it's not a spoiler for my players. Did I put Ex Novo in my title? Let's put that in my title. Okay, where was I? The only theme I have in mind for this area is that it is lower magic than Karsus. So magic is kind of a rare thing. It's not like something that's integrated into society. It's something that's hoarded. And because they're so stingy and possessive of any sort of magic here, is why the party will probably eventually come here, is because there are certain tomes or scrolls or artifacts that Anchime has not had access to study with, and they will hopefully, and Anchime will request that you have to have something we haven't seen before to get into the low archives, because the high archives are of Anchime current, Anchime post sans, Anchime that is currently. The low archives are from the ruins of old Anchime, pre-sans. And because magic spoils and magic rots when it is not tended to, the low archives are very dangerous. And so, to gain access to the low archive, you have to prove that you are a competent magician or a competent adventurer enough that you can defend yourself in the low archives. I plan on having them chase these MacGuffins, but if they really want, they don't have to get a MacGuffin that is inherently magical. They could defeat someone spoken of in legend, or, show their prowess outside of the standard, run and go fetch these items. Just the fact that they need to go prove themselves as adventurers. Although I'm sure they'll get plenty of brownie points for having survived the Violet Timberlands, where things are happening. Capital T things are happening. There, right now, off camera. Off camera for the campaign. But anyway, back to Ex Novo, now that I've gotten thoroughly off track. The only assumption that I have for this area in particular, and this continent in particular, well, this area broadly, and this continent in particular, this area broadly that it is low magic, and this continent in particular, I want a sort of Norse vibe, very northward, Inuit, Norse, Scandinavian, places that have midnight sun, essentially. I want that vibe from True Guy, because it is a polar continent. If we look at the area at large, by removing the crop, you can see that, well, you can sort of see that. Let me fix that so you can actually see. You can see that Trugai here is a northern continent, and there is no southern pole there, but there is a little bit of southern area in this third continent here. Anyway, that's why I want Trugai to have a very Scandinavian, northern, midnight sun kind of vibe. It's also a vibe that that I've made pains to make myself familiar with. So we are starting with this smaller city. We want it to be Scandinavian, and we want it to be low magic. Those are our only two. Those are our only two expectations for the area. So that's step 1 of Ex Novo is. Now we need to pick target size of the settlement and target age of the settlement. I like to think that this city in Trugai, which we're going to need to decide on a name for, which we will decide on a name for eventually. I think we'll decide on a name at the end, just for safety's sake. The scale/size table here. I think it's a smaller town. Roll down here. See, and another good thing about these particular large continent maps is they don't have terrain features yet, so I can design terrain features using the game as intended. Okay, scale size table. Oh, we've got a follow, I think. Someone is following. Thank you for the follow, whoever that was. I didn't catch it fast enough. My apologies. Hang on, let me turn on the alert list. It's going to be hiding behind the captions, but let me turn on the alert list so I can see what I missed. Oh no, it's behind the chat. Welcome. Hang on, let me get rid of the chat for a second. Welcome Ben Hecker Gaming and Roni Roland and Anna Rusalka. All three of you, welcome to the Igloo. One of you has followed much more recently than the others, but welcome all three of you to the Igloo. My apologies if I've missed your follows. I need to fix my layout so that the alert list has a home again. And I will get there. I might just put the alert list under the captions and then just turn it off and on as necessary, to be honest. But anyway, where was I? Oh, we were going to decide on a scale. I think this is a town. So there's 6 scales here. There's village, town, small city, medium city, large city, and metropolis. Large cities in my setting, like Quotas and Anchime technically, but I won't be using Ex Novo for Anchime because I have my ideas for Anchime are too solidified. But anyway, large cities in my settings like Quotas and that triangle that is elsewhere on the continent, and Martyr, they are metropoli. So that's the big cities. I'm gonna say this is a town, meaning we split this with 7 lines that will represent roads. So we'll pick the road color, and then we'll make the shape of a line, and we split it with 7 lines. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Hang on. Whoa, back up. Let's fix this so it'll actually create the shape I want. So 1, 2, 3. I like the idea of this town being very planned, so it has nice spokes of a wheel streets. So that's 3, 4. Let's say 5.
Night, boys.
Night, Dad.
Yeah.
6 and no, one more. 7. Alright, so we have 7 lines that we've split the map with. Those are our major roads, and they create major districts. So we split our lines with 7. We split the map with 7 lines and have 5 citizen tokens. I don't have anything for counters for citizen tokens. Oh. Apparently Magnus has done a thing. One moment.
Did she just go out?
What? The struggle is real. Apologies about that. Oh, my layout's loading. Okay, so we've cut our map in 7s. We need citizen tokens, which technically we don't need citizen tokens, but I'm going to use something as tokens to physically keep track. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we need 5 citizen tokens, because that's the size of this city. So we've got 5 tokens. And we'll set those aside as necessary. So then we pick an age for the city. I think this needs to be a smaller city because it is so well planned. It feels new. So I'm going to say that it is a budding city. So we have 6 development phases. So that means we have 6 turns. So let's put that in the chat. 6 phases, 5 citizens. So we don't forget it, it's right there. Oh, the captions struggle when I don't speak perfectly clearly. Okay, so after those two choices, we scroll, uh, pick the target age, and then we actually start the game. So, founding phase. Major geography. Find out what kind of region this settlement was founded in. Roll on the terrain/geography table and draw the major terrain shape. We've already drawn the major terrain shape, and we've already decided the major terrain layout, whatever this gray is. And in other maps, this gray has been like plateau lowlands, like stony land. I guess, yeah, like a plateau type thing. So terrain features is actually where we're starting here, because we've already got the major geography decided. Let me pull up the tables in a separate window on my screen so we have to do less scrolling, because that's something you get in when you purchase ex novo. You get the tables separate from the main book, which is kind of nice. Okay, so we need to roll on the terrain features table 4 times. Terrain geography. We need to roll 2d6. So 2d6. 3. 3 means a plateau. Thin air but a stellar view. What stories do the settlers tell of the winds and birds? Draw a plateau covering at least half of the map. Good thing we have that planned. So we're going to use this main street's dividing line. Actually, no, we're not. We're going to let the outlying points outside of these nice bookended streets be where the plateaus are. So we're going to take a darker stone color, and we're going to darken these. Oh, wait, no. Not yet, apparently. We're going to finish the line we were on. Let me fix that. Oh, technical difficulty. Okay, so now we're going to take a darker stone color, and we're going to paint in here, 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 and here, 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 and here. So perhaps there's a reason why this chasm was carved out. That's a potential lore note we could stick a pin in. Why is this... Why does this have plateaus on both sides? On the one side, it makes sense. But on the other side, not so much. Perhaps this was, at one time, a large plateau, and then something titanic happened, and carved out this channel, and that's where the city is. I like the sound of that. I don't know about you. So we need to roll 3 more times for terrain features. Okay, that's a 6. Hills, rolling, rocky, or rugged. Wide vistas or dappled in forests. What songs of this land do the people sing? Draw at least 2 sizable hills, at least 2 quadrants big. So we'll put, I guess, in even darker. So we'll put hills atop. I think if we lean in on the something carving this chasm, we could put hills atop either end of the plateau, such that, you know, oh, the rubble all fell and it made hills. I don't know if this is actually going to be a thing that happened in the world, but it will definitely be fun. Like, it'll be a fun, what is the word I'm looking for? It'll be a fun local legend. There's the word I'm looking for. So we'll take this, and we'll draw ourselves some nice little hill shapes. You know, hill shapes. I'm not an artist, so please do keep that in mind. Hill shapes. So we're just going to mark these Note that this is a rough map. That is something that Ex Novo emphasizes in your design choices, that when you're playing the game, you need to do something with a rough map that you can, remove things from and change. And then once the game has ended, then you decide, okay, I like these this is what survived over the years. This is what happened, so to speak. So we're going to put these little hill shapes all along these plateaus. I just said that this was going to be a lower magic area. I mean, I could tie this into the lore reason why there's a desert. That depends on where I set the, where I set Karsus in relation to these continents, actually. I might. Either way, it's going to be a local legend, I can tell. How many? Two more of these. Terrain features. That's a 6, 7, 8. That means a riverland. Gentle and calm or treacherous and angry. What's the reason for this river's temperament, and how do the citizens deal with that? Okay, so maybe we don't have to have some sort of giant magic catastrophe happen here. Maybe it's just a river. Just a river slowly carved this area, and it's a valley town. So we'll draw a little river shape here. I kind of like this. I mean, that kind of erases that particular street, so to speak, but it's not the end of the world. So we've got like a little river going on here. Little river. And then we can fill that in. River. Oh, geez. River. River is happening. We're filling in the water for the river. One group I forgot to tell that I was doing this was my actual D&D group. Because this is far enough away in the campaign, theoretically, I don't mind them dropping in. But, oh no, that's not what I wanted. It's far enough off that this isn't a spoiler. But anyway, we've got a nice little river splitting our nice little town here in half. But, this is the second time that's happened, by the way. Definitely on purpose. I clearly meant to do that. Okay, so we need one more terrain feature. We'll roll again. 6, 7, 8, 9. Coastal. A rugged or smooth coast. What do people believe about the sea or lake? Draw a coastal line covering about a third of the map with ocean. Okay, so we'll add some coastality to these cliffs, and can you all see my pointer on screen? Hang on. Hello! Speaking of my players, I was just talking about you all. Can you see my pointer? Oh, you can see my pointer on the paint screen. Good. Hello! Whose emote is that cute little excited... Oh, it's just a pride emote. Oh, well, now I want that one. Anyway, this is suggesting we cover at least a third of the area in a beach. I think we can just make this third of the area here into a beach. Like, these are... It's a pride emote. I love them so freaking much. See, now I want them. I think all I have for pride emotes is, like, the like, hey, and the, like, non-binary B. Didn't get the one that I wanted out of it last Pride Month. Murger. Anyway. I have those. Oh, you have, like, basically all of them. I think I have the B. I have the B in different colors. I have the B in, like, non-binary colors, I think. Those are such good emotes. I love them. Okay, so beach area. So this will be beach here. They made such a good job with them. I agree. So this will be... Why is there a river in the beach? Nobody knows. Ooh, spicy. Let's take this color and lighten it just a bit, and that will be like a cliff area. Is this at least a third of the map? Not particularly. So you can see on the left there is the continent at large, and we're working on the small city off to the left there. The city which does not have a name. If you have a good name, let me know. Because name's hard. Okay, and then we'll take this color and paint bucket this in, and it didn't even bop my hill shapes that I spent all of 5 minutes on. Okay, so we've got our beach area, and that's the last terrain feature. Well, I have to learn about the city first, and only then can I give it a proper name. Exactly, that's why I wanted to name it last. Okay, so we have rolled on the terrain feature tables. Founding locations. Now that we have the surroundings, let's find out what about this place was special enough to found a settlement on. Abundant food, a useful trade route, easy to defend. Roll on the purpose location table and draw a related landmark or resource. Okay, purpose or location table. Terrain features. Oh, there were more terrain feature options. Oh well, that's not the end of the world. We kind of integrated those anyway. Okay, location. We'll roll 2d6. And we got a 5, 6, 7, 8. That is abundant edible animals. I'd say there's a lot of fish in the river. I'm fond of calling the cities the names of chess pieces for no particular reason. I could go with like a board game, like start with a board game type name and make a couple iterations away to make it more fantasy for this continent. So where was I? The abundant resource on this in this area is the fish in the river. So we're gonna put little fish shapes in the river. He said, realizing that the shape of a fish is kind of hard to make in MS Paint. So we'll put little baby fish shapes. We'll zoom in. And we'll put little baby fish shapes. And that's what the city started on. Were these little baby fish shapes. Resource. It seems like a snowy area, so wouldn't some animals with good hide be around too? That's fair. Yeah, I know what you mean, like their fur. So, yeah, we'll get there. I think these fish are particularly unique fish. As in our world, there are certain animals that have a sort of natural resistance to freezing. They have, for one reason or another, that... Why is the... Oh, I must have alternate clicked on that one. So, fish in the river. Hooray! So these fish that are in this river, they're easily accessible at all times of the year. The river rarely freezes as moving water often does, but these fish are cold hardy through, nature. This isn't the tundra area of the larger city, but it is still pretty cold here. Natural selection, shrug, exactly. Okay, we have acquired the purpose of this area. Draw a related man marker resource. Settlement decision. Who initiated the founding of the settlement? An accident all the way to a divine commandment. Purpose decision table. Draw the first settlement district and move a citizen token from the pool to the city. Somewhere in the city. And then later, that citizen token will become associated with a faction. So this is something that came up in the comments of the first Novo video that I'm going to go over right now. When you apply a citizen to a city, you're supposed to also associate it with a faction. So, like, if you're representing a faction moving into a new district, you put a citizen token associated with a faction in that district. So I've been doing this in my private games of Novo, but I did not do it in my first game, and the creator of the game pointed that out to me. Although they did mention the rule isn't abundantly clear, so it's not entirely my fault, but the fact that I stumbled on the intended effect by myself says something. It's a small change, but we'll remember that when we get there. So we decide what this city was founded for. Why did they settle where the fish don't freeze? Purpose decision. We roll 2d6. And we find that we've rolled a 6, 2 threes. That was backwards. 2 threes. Settlers looking for freedom. What freedom is important to this community, and what oppressive authority do they leave behind? I think maybe use different colors for the factions. I was actually thinking about using different colors and shapes for the factions. So I think the founders of this city wanted to escape the some sort of oppression, maybe just the oppressive life of the upper tundra city. And so they were just like, it's too cold here, living here is too hard, we're gonna go slightly south. And they found this river valley. So they go, man, it's way too cold up there, we're gonna move. And they come in on this line here, and they go, oh, we gotta get to the river. So they get to the river, and the city is founded here. A small group of people who decided they wanted to be a bit more secluded, maybe. Yeah, I think they were... Perhaps there was more to it than, oh god, it's too cold here. Maybe there was some sort of... They wanted to hide from someone. But this was a group of people looking to escape the larger city on the continent. So the city starts here. And we'll mark the start of the city with a star. Doot! If I can move it slightly. There we go. So it's not on top of the river. City starts here. Apparently that made one of the fish orange. It's fine. Sometimes they're goldfish. Okay, so that's why the city started. I really should be writing this down, but because I am recording the video, I might just go back and write the rest of it down later. Super rare cold-resistant goldfish. Yes, anti-freezing koi. Their blood is used in... Rather, not their blood. Their fin slime is used in cold resistance potions. Okay. Settlement decision. We've decided on the settlement decisions. So, scales. Thank you. That was the word I was looking for. Starting hierarchy. Roll on the power hierarchy table. Power hierarchy table is 1d6, one of them. So what does the power look like here? 2. Communal voting. People get together and vote on their issues, but what makes a citizen eligible to vote? Draw the route that led here. So I seem to have accidentally made the roads a little too beefy in here, but we're gonna draw the route that led them here. With the roadlier looking tool here. So we're gonna... Hang on. I'm gonna make that a little larger. We gotta make the novelty spray paint can sound too. Necessary Foley. Flawless. So we got a little road here. This is what brought them in here. They like came down. They came over the hill, out of those hills over the plateau into the center of this. They were like, the river's right there. We gotta. And they communally vote. What makes someone eligible to vote? We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But they communally vote to decide on their issues. What's next? We roll for factions. How many factions are there? There is 1d6 for rolling for factions. We rolled a 1, so there is a single faction in power. What shared hope or fear binds these people together? So what is the single faction here? Factions are the main thing that lets you like decide who goes where and what do they do. So I think... Oh, okay. So that single goldfish... How big is this settlement supposed to be? This is a smaller settlement. It's smaller and it's newer. Overall, if you remember, Quotas had a lot of citizen tokens, like 30 or something. This settlement has 5. So, let's lean in on the goldfish. Let's say that the singular faction in this area is the... Yeah, I was overshooting it with 30, obviously, but there were a lot more people in like Quotas and Martyr than here. This is even smaller than Shroud Bell or Midrun. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, let's lean in on the goldfish. The singular faction in power here in the city is the... I'm trying to think of like a good fantasy word for it. Like obviously it's a group of people and they're all excited about koi fish and they breed these fancy koi fish for things. But what's a good fantasy word for it? Let's ask... Yeah, let me ask Google for like an Icelandic word for guild. Let's say. Actually, rather than me bogging myself down in like specifics of names, we're gonna say general names and I'm going to make them more specific later. Which, sorry if that kind of pulls back the curtain for you, but the guild of the ever shining koi, let's say, they found a gold scaled koi. So the guild of the ever shining koi, and their symbol, their faction symbol is like a wood brick stamp of like a golden koi. You know, it's like, it's, you know, the stereotypical like fish shape, but it has like little koi scales in it, and it's traditionally done in like yellow or gold paint. So the Guild of the Ever Shining Koi is the I don't want to say cult. I don't want to make that decision yet, but the Guild of the Ever Shining Koi is the faction in the area. And so along with name and symbol of the faction on a note card, draw a landmark for that faction, and move a citizen token from the city to the faction in power. So, this is where the multiplayer aspect would come in. If I was doing maybe a symbol of unity between the people who founded the settlement. I like that a lot. Like, they found the golden koi is why they found the fish there. When you scrape off some of their scales, you can make them into cold resistance potions, and that's what got them through their first difficult winter. And so they all are, you know, in unity of support of the river. You know, they know it's important. what was I going to say? This is where the multiplayer would come in for Ex Novo, by the way. If I was playing this with a group to set up an area to play in, I would design a faction. And then Kayakoa would like them. Yes. Kayakoa is this player. We do one-shots to flesh out other parts of the world. And Kayakoa is a Circle of the Waves druid who obviously enjoys the water and fish and sea and stuff. Oh, I completely lost my brain. Oh, if you were playing this in a group, this is where the multiplayer would come in. Each player would have a faction. Yeah, change active player and create a note card and landmark for each remaining faction. Yeah, so this is where the multiplayer would come in, is people, chime in like, oh, I like this development, I like that development, and I've designed this faction to go here. That's where the multiplayer comes in. But this is more me single-playeredly designing the city, and you all as the chat kind of chiming in with good ideas. Because, surprisingly, given that it's the internet, my chat has great ideas. Anyway, so we need to put a golden koi token in one of the districts. I think for simplicity's sake, we're gonna make these just little yellow fish shapes. So the golden koi, they first start here. Let's say, move this over and up a little bit. So that's one citizen token already. Maybe someday we can make something together in this for something random for fun. Absolutely. Like, I plan on using this for, like, if I start another campaign in any game, honestly. Like, I have, like, on the back burner, I'm working on learning a Blades in the Dark spin-off called Hello World that's, like, Tron themed, and I'm very interested in it, and I'm gonna use it. Blades in the Dark already supplies some tools to flesh out, like, factions and stuff. So, you could play into that with Ex Novo. Like, you design the grid for Hello World using Ex Novo, and then the factions that come up in Ex Novo then get assigned stats for this Blades in the Dark game. Anyway, that's off topic. So I cannot wait to find a group for it. Like, I don't want to just spring it on Anime Scar Gang, which is the group who we're making this city for, just because we have a bad habit of getting distracted from the mainline story, but I do want to play it at some point. Anyway, Golden Koi, focus. It wants us to name the city right now, but I do not want to name the city right now, so we'll name the city later. We know that the Golden Koi protect the river because they know it is the... We're getting super distracted as usual, but let's focus on the Golden Koi. Agreed. So we know the Golden Koi protect the fish in the river because they are important. So now we roll our first history roll, of which we have 6. So we roll on the history table. And that's 3d6s for history table. 1, 2, 3, and... Okay. That is a 246. What happens first? Scroll down. 246. An important alliance is forged. What's the goal of this alliance? Was it forged by peaceful means or by deceit? Remove a faction gains power. Well, we only have one faction on the board, so that means that just the Kois grow in power. But what lets the Koi grow in power, let's say? Let's let's say that the Koi grow in power because they coax more people away from the northerly city. The northerly city, the little blue triangle on the map there. So let's say the Koi grow in power when they coax people away, and they add a few roads here. They add a few roads like so. Road, road, road. And we add another Koi onto the map. Like so. So the Koi gain another people. From the most obvious being more people come in and they are also the only faction, so they naturally gain more influence over the city. Exactly. So the Koi gain more power because there's more people. And they're really the only alliance to be made in the city. Like, obviously there are unallianced citizens. But, you know, that happen. This doesn't focus on the this doesn't focus on the unaligned citizens. Ex Novo doesn't. So then we note down the event on the timeline. So we have 1, founding, and then 2, coaxing of polar city citizens to arrive. The polar city doesn't have a name either. We're going to get to it later, though. Okay, I think that's the... Yeah, if you want to, you can use a citizen token from the pool to add a district to the map. That means during this period, the city grew normally from its usual mixture of a high birth rate and immigration. Okay, so we have 4 citizen tokens left, because I don't think the opening citizen token counts. So we have 4 citizen tokens left because we used one of them to let the Koi expand a little bit. Okay, and then we roll another event. And we have 5 events left. 5 events for citizens. And then we roll another event. Roll, 3d6. Okay, I rolled the exact same thing, so we're rolling again. Okay, 4, 2, 1. What does that come out to be? This would be a lot... Weirdly, this would be simpler in a physical book. I'm kind of tempted to like print this and put it in a binder. Or like if there's a physical version of this game. I hope there's a physical version of this game. That would kind of slap. 421. Local conflict. Hatred divides a neighborhood in 2 camps. How could this escalate? How is the border demarcated? A district is broken in 2. So I think some people are like, I'm sick of the Golden Koi. They have all the power in the city, and I'm splitting off. So we're gonna take this district here, the newer district. Thinking about the name of the polar city, Mid-Run comes to mind because it's kind of in the middle of Karsus, so North Run sounds good to me. I'm going to keep that in mind for the polar city. I like the idea of Run being a common town suffix. I might add some polar zhuzh to that. So, let's say that this newer district splits. People are upset with the Koi. Maybe they have a bad harvest year or something. I'm not sure. But this district splits. It is split in 2 now. This side's the Kois, and this side's just people. They're just like, I don't care about the Golden Koi. I'm just here to live and eat. Yeah. Okay. So then that's another event. 4 events. Yeah, like the people realize that there only being one group of power is a bad thing. You know, absolute power corrupts absolutely. So that makes the timeline 1, founding, 2, citizen coaxing, and then 3, power, not district split, corruption avoidance. Power split would be good. I think I'm going to have power split happen next. Power split. So I am manually selecting the fact that there's another faction occurring. Which I don't think that's in the rules, but I'm selecting it right now because that's the direction this is headed. So now we have 3 events, 3 citizens, because we're placing another citizen token on the map to mark this new faction. What's this new faction, though? I think... So they don't want to be adjacent to the koi, obviously. I think... What do we think? I think that... What else would they have access to? Here, there's stonework. Maybe they are... Maybe someone makes a statue, and that becomes an actual religion in the area. So for the statue, we're going to put a colored shape down. Let's say a little thought bubble shape in... I think they're going to worship the... What do I think? I think they're going to worship the goddess of the ocean. So we're going to put in ocean color a little thought bubble here. And we're going to have it extend. They're going to go... Ooh, that's not what I wanted. Maybe not the ocean, but water in general. Because the river's right there. Yeah, the river's right there, so they want to worship the power of the river and the power of water and the ocean being right there and all. So they're going to do this. They're going to add these roads. Well, that's not really a road because there's a river there, but you get what I mean. Going to add those 3 roads, and they're going to expand down that way eventually. Okay, next event. Let's roll. I think. Yeah, because we added a citizen. So we roll for our next event. That's all 2s. Okay. So 2, 2, 2. Let me scroll up here. 2, 2, 2 means system of governance has changed. Who caused this change? What is this system? Was an old faction obliterated, or did a new political bloc manifest? I think... Yeah, I know. 222, that means it's fate. I think that the water goddess people were going to descend down this way. But someone... Oh, I know, oddly fitting for our timeline. Someone usurps that idea. I think... The mode of governance has changed. So rather than collectively voting, I think they are going to change to be a... They're going to vote in a council, which is pretty close. And the council is going to be the new faction. You know, the council people. The people who support the council. And we're going to put that with a... No, we're going to put it with a triangle. I lied. We're going to put it with a pink triangle. No, not pink triangle. That's not a good choice. I lied on that one. We're going to go with this, like, slate gray looking triangle. There we go. That's a better color for a triangle. So we're going to say that these council people, they plop down 2 people, let's say. And they extend 2 districts downward. So that means we've got 2 citizens left and 2 events left. And 2 events left, I think. What's our timeline look like? the power split happens, and then the governance changes. So 1, founding, 2, coaxing, 3, corruption avoid, 4, power split, 5, power change, council versus direct votes. Okay, so we've got 2 more events left. So let's roll for an event. That is 5, 2, 3. Okay. So let me bring her down on the table. 523. A palace of worship. A temple, cathedral, or a pyramid for blood sacrifices. What do people practice here? Add a landmark and a faction gains power. Well, the obvious one would to be the water goddess people gaining power. But where are we going to put the water goddess temple? I think that we're going to put it over here. We're going to paint in a new road. Brush. Right here. And then we're going to put a thought bubble. And then what does this temple look like? We'll make aesthetic decisions about the temple later. We'll just fill in the temple landmark. It's a great big temple. Maybe they have some kind of like floating garden, or maybe they have some kind of like elaborate fountain that people have to like, in the devotion of their worship, they have to make repetitive motions to emulate the tide, and this repetitive motion powers the fountain. I don't know. I agree. I think I like the floating garden idea a little better. I think the what was I saying? The floating garden is a lot less elaborate than the tide ritual. Anyway, we've got 1 event left and 1 citizen left. So let's see what the last event and last citizen look like. 2, 3, 2. I'm gonna re-roll those because I don't want that again. 6, 5, 4. Ooh, that's a good roll. Like, just numerologically, I like the way that sounds. What happens with 6, 5, 4? Something big. The larger the number, the bigger the thing happening. Fire! The fire of a century tears through the city. Houses burn, people die. Accidents or malice. What does the city do to prevent this from happening again? And it says remove at least 2 districts or landmarks. Okay. So I think a fire tears through this district here and this district here. The water worshippers, away from their temple of whatever the water thing is happening. Fire on a water city, that sounds like foul play with how big it sounds. Exactly. I think there's a huge fire. I think the Golden Koi people are jealous of the water goddess people, and they start a fire here. We're going to put a little red. Is there like a fire shape? No, there's a lightning bolt though. We're going to put a little red lightning bolt here to go. The fire starts here in Water District, but it spreads to the extant, so to speak, Golden Koi District. Okay. So then, and that removes the nearly founding era district of the town. Like some of the only remaining old buildings are in the grasp of the Golden Koi cult. I know I said I didn't want it to be a cult, but oof, it really do be like that. So I think this area is still just kind of I think this area is still kind of empty. I think people just leave it. Ooh, actually, we could. No, I don't want to introduce another faction here. But what I do want to do is add. I think the water people, upset at the loss of their area. This whole town sounds kind of culty, to be honest. Yeah, I'm kind of tempted to just make this like from a lore standpoint, just like three cults are trying to vie for power within the town, which is actually kind of a fun like lore twist. Okay, so the council. Oh, spooky. That sounds like a lot of fun. Yeah, it'd be a lot of fun for like either if you guys bump into here or if so we're gonna have the thought bubble be see, and we wind up with the same overall number of citizens because we added one, but we lost two here, so it's fine. I think those two districts are just left completely unsettled. They're like, we don't want to tempt the fire. But they move into these three over here. The Golden Koi finally moves here. Okay, so now so I like the idea. I think that we've both come up with here that this town is three cults vying for power. What can we name this along that line? What can we name? What if? It seems like there's an idea. Cult names. Every cult has a different name for the. Ooh, okay, and this. Okay. Hear me out. Each cult has a different name for the town locally. People not from this town call it Triad. I like that. So the town from the outside is named Triad. But from within, town has different names. The Golden Koi, the whatever I said, the Coalition of the Golden Koi or something. They call it the what would they call it? Let's say they call it what's a good word? The something of the ever shining koi. Yes, the Garden of the Ever Shining Koi. Okay, so we know that they call it the garden. Koi people call it Garden of the Ever Shining Koi, which really turks off the water goddess people because they literally have a hanging garden in their section of town. The water goddess people call it well, I have to decide on what the name of the water goddess is. I think they just name it like based on the name of the water goddess. What's the name of the water goddess? I'm trying to think of like a suitably deific name here. Starts with an M. Morty sounds too death-like. Can I randomly suggest Kayako as mom? Ooh. Did you tell me Kayako's mom's name at some point? Because I do not remember. That is a good suggestion. Did we decide on that, or was that a character decision that you had made? I do like that. Yeah, look that up. I will canonize that. Boop. I am the DM, and I say that's that. The Kayako's mom is the water goddess to this city, and we will base the water goddess's name, the water goddess city name, on that. While you look that up, I'm going to think about the council. What would the council call? It was very similar to the name of a water goddess of the Tynos, too. Okay. What would the council call it, though? Kratos? Cardus? Kratos? Because Kratos from Democratic, but I want to iterate on that, so... Kratos? No, that sounds too much like Kratos. I mean, that wouldn't be atrocious, other than being a very on-the-nose reference. Atabe was the name. Okay, so I'm gonna keep Kratos in my mind for the Democratic people. Atabe was the name. So Atabe, Atabeon, yes, Atabeonus. That's what they call. That's what the water calls the town, is Atabeonus, and the water goddess in this area is Atabe. Hey, that's why I was really excited about you dropping in, because I really like, D&D lends to this sort of cooperative storytelling, and Ex Novo is designed for this kind of thing. And I really like weaving my players' stories into the existing story that I have planned. Okay, so Atabeonus, so Kratos, what can we iterate on here? Kratos? Ray Kratos. Ray Kratos. What can we change in the middle there? Retratus. Raktus. Yes. Raktus. There we go. That's the Democratic people's name for the town, is Raktus. This is how I tend to come up with names if I'm not just frantically clicking a name generator. Is me starting from what I want and then iterating 2 or 3 times. So, and it kind of sells that rictus grin, that kind of is the vibe of this town. Like everybody's a little too happy. Everybody's a little too happy to welcome you. Okay. So that is Triad, this smaller town. Let me note down the timestamp for this for when I post the video to YouTube. 1:18. Okay, now the longer part that I'm probably going to start here and then end off stream is the larger town that we're probably going to add Run in the name. Like a northerly name and then Run. So, okay, let me save this rough map of Triad here. And I'll be working on this in Incarnate in my off time to make it less MS Paint thrown together. Let me put this in my folder for Anime Scar Gang. Triad rough map. And then we'll make another... Oh, excuse me. New. Did this make a second window? Okay, no, we're good. To be fair, my MS Paint maps are very comprehensible. They are nicely comprehensible, but I don't adore the way they look. They're very much, they scream of my amateurish art abilities, and I'm not a fan. And so I fix it with Incarnate. Okay, so this northerly town that has run in the name, not Blitz Run. What do I want here? I want a cold term. Frigid. Sorry, we don't need to pick name right now. We need to start over on Ex Novo. So once again, we'll run through the steps of Ex Novo. So first of all, we need to draw the landmass because that part's already been decided. So we're gonna draw a little bit of. Wait, no, it wasn't drawing. Let me try again. Like that. And we'll just let it extend upward. This is just gonna be single ocean map. Boop. Hello? No? I would like... No? Okay, fine. I'll make sure the lines are closed. Rude. Try again. There we go. And the best part is we don't even need to change this because it's a snowy area. Okay, so we've got landmass decided, and we've got rough terrain decided. So now we need to decide, major geography decided. Let's decide on minor geography, and those are roles on the table. Minor geography, roll on the terrain feature table, which is all the way up here. Terrain features. Let's roll on the more exciting terrain feature once, and then the simpler terrain feature twice. So, exciting terrain features, 2d6. That is a 5. That means hills. So we add some hills. Somewhere on a small... we add some hills. Hi, I would like to see the thing. Just add the terrain feature. One big hill or an area of rocking and rolling hills. What hides among the grasses and trees here? Or rather, the lack of grasses and trees here. So we're going to draw little hills. Draw ourselves some little hills. Just some little hills. Just a few. Just a few small hills. Some happy little hills. We're going to make 3, 6, 7. No, we're going to make 8 because everybody needs a buddy. And that's a little hill area. Okay, what's next? Terrain feature. We roll terrain features 4 times. So let's roll on the less impressive terrain feature here. 2d6. 5 plus 2 is 7. Inland. Plains and sky as far as the eye can see. How do people deal with this vastness? Draw nothing. So there's a large section of this map. Let's delineate it in not white, but an even lighter gray. That may be difficult to come across on the screen. That is just a void, just a tundrous void. A large section of the map that there could be roads into this, certainly, but there are not roads. Like, you could go into this, but it would not be a good place to be. This is where maybe potentially nomads live or something. I'm not sure. But that section of the map is just completely voided out. Like, there is nothing. It is just an endless plain of ice and snow and potentially hunting animals. 6, I don't want to draw hills again. Did I roll hills on the other map? Woods, an area of forest, maybe rainforest or grasses as tall as a man. What hides in these trees? How would woods fit here? Maybe it's like a taiga type thing? Like, yes, this whole area is snowy, but it is not a featureless mass of snow. I think... Where do I want to put these trees? First of all, I need the triangle shape to draw trees. We're going to put some evergreen trees right up here in the corner. Like so. Just some happy little trees. It's not a frozen desert. Yeah, exactly. It's not a desert, it's a taiga. That is exactly correct, and I'm glad your brain went where my brain went there. So we're going to put a few small evergreen tree shapes here with my masterful MS Paint skills. OC, do not steal MS Paint. Exactly, great minds thinking alike. Do not steal sick MS Paint skills, honed with many hours at the keyboard. Incredibly impressive. Definitely not at all obviously MS Painted taiga trees up here in the corner. Your MS Paint skills are better than mine. That's saying something. This is a pretty low bar to get over. We got 2 more terrain features to roll for. Wait, we got 1 more terrain feature to roll for because I already forgot about the barren section of the map. 1 more terrain feature. That's a 6, 7, 8, 9. A wetland or a coastal area. Well, I was going to put a coastal area here anyway, so it's not the end of the world. That even makes these hills into potentially sand dunes, which I like. I'd say these hills are just above the sand. There's like a little coastal area. Of course. Oh, look who's here. Hi, library. Come here. Come here, kitty cat. You're saying hi to everybody. Yup. Everybody say hello. It's Library Cat. Everybody's favorite boy. Fat Library Cat. He keeps an eye on the books. Oh, yeah. Yeah. He's like, don't hold me anymore, Dad. Yeah. Sweet boy. Good sweet boy. Aren't ya? He's just Biff bonking the laptop. Oh, he's heard something. Who made that noise, huh? Do you need to go check? Yeah? Oh, it's just Jason. Yeah. What do you think, Library? Oh, yes. Baby boy. Yeah. What do you think? Anyway. I fawned over my cat enough. Go. No, go sit on the bed. Okay, or you can do that. That's fine, too. Alright, whatever. Okay, anyway. Good, sweet library boy. Where was I? Terrain features. We were just after terrain features. Founding location. Purpose or location table and draw a related landmark where we start. Purpose, location table, 2d6, shake a shake a shake a shake a shake a shake. 5. Valuable natural resource. Gold, gems, or pretty shells. Something of value can be found here. What dangers does the extraction of this resource bring? Cats will do whatever the heck they want. You right. You are absolutely correct. Won't you, library? Yeah. What's here? Where does the town start? Wait, did we forget to draw lines? Did I skip the drawing lines step? Hi. What are you so upset about? Huh? I think I skipped the drawing line step. I did skip the drawing line step. No! I accidentally the whole thing and skipped to the second phase of the game. We gotta go back and draw lines over these. The target size probably determines lines, right? Target size. Here we go. Size. I think this is a large-ish city, but it is not so large as Quotis or Martyr. I think we split the map with 13 lines, despite library being directly in the way. Aren't ya? Right in the way. Yeah. Okay, 13 lines. Let's make the lines a little thinner this time so we don't have to be so heavy-handed with the road brush. So let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh yeah, you're in the way. Yeah. Oh, so much need for attention. 6, 7. Yeah, 8, 9. Library, are you comfy? Are you comfy down there, Katie? 10. 11. 12. And let's say 13. Yeah, that last line won't particularly come in to play with this huge tundra section, but functionally we were supposed to have drawn these before we decided on terrain features anyway. Weren't we, library? Yeah. And how many citizens was this? 13 lines means 18 citizens. So 18 citizens, let's write that down. 18 citizens. If you would like to know where library is, here he is. He's on my lap. He loaf. Anyway, lines drawn. How old is this town? I think it is not as old as Quotus or Martyr, so it is not ancient. I'd say it is. It's older than the town that it spawned, for sure. Let's say aged. That means 14 turns. At least he isn't knocking stuff down. He's got a bad habit of eating cables. 14 historical events. Yeah, library. Off he goes to eat cables, probably. Yeah. Because I didn't watch you eat enough, did I, today? I have to stand there and watch him eat. Like, he's so insistent. Like, he'll eat if I don't watch him because he gets hungry, but he insists. Don't you, bud? Yeah, you do. Okay, now we decide, as intended by the game, now we decide the power hierarchy and draw the route that led the settlers there. So, what brought people here? Purpose, location. Now we decide where things are. Let's roll for the location, or purpose. That's a 4, 2 and 2. Trade route. A frequented trade route brings easy access to goods and services. What dangers do these travelers bring, and what strange or exotic goods? I think the trade route is going to come along this line here. We're going to put like a purplish line here. What tool do I have selected? Lines? Good. We're going to put a purplish line here to represent the fact that there was a trade route from the one of the warmer continents up into here. And then we're going to take our standard road brush here, and it's going to start there. And this big district here is going to be the starting district. And it was a trade route. I think people on their way from whatever that lower continent is, they were looking up here. They're like, well, there's got to be something up there. So they were looking to trade things. And they arrived here. only to find that there was a giant howling tundrous void directly to their right. So they decided to not settle here, but here instead. What's next? Location, 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 decision. Why did they come here? I think they were... It was a ruler's whim. I think a ruler of this lower city here decided that they wanted to figure out what was above them, and so they sent people up there, and we're going to put a little crown here, and this city is going to start as the... Well, I'm not going to put a crown, because there's not a crown shape, and I don't want to spend a billion years making a crown shape. I lied. I'm going to. We're going to change the color of this shape to yellow, then we're going to paint this in, and then we're going to put little triangles on top for crown spikes. Like so. Doot. I'm going to say, just for the spice of the... You know who we haven't run into? Complicated shapes for the win. You're right. I'm going to say, we haven't run into Tabaxi in our main campaign yet. Granted, there are obviously Tabaxi on Neron, which is a small island full of strange races. Strange, as D&D puts them. But I think this is the Leopard King. This area started as a colony of the Leopard King, and this is a city of Tabaxi. I like that. I don't use Tabaxi enough in my gameplay, so this is a city of Tabaxi, sent as an exploratory mission from a larger city of Tabaxi further south, and eventually these Tabaxi become like snow leopard Tabaxi, which I'll have to look into snow leopards to name this name. Okay, so we've got that we've made that decision pretty thoroughly. Snow leopard Tabaxi, coming from and I think there is a singular ruler, who is a sub-ruler of the Leopard King. Obviously there's a single faction here, but let's roll for factions and see if there's anyone outside of the realm of the Leopard King. That's a 1. I don't like that. We already rolled a 1 tonight, so... Alright, 2. So we have the citizens of the Leopard King here. And then we have another faction. What's our second faction? I think these are... what else fits in a cold area? Tabaxi, we've already said Tabaxi. I think... Gosh, I'm so tempted to say White Dragonborn, but oh man, I don't want to say White Dragonborn because it's such an obvious play. Let's look at the races available in 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons here. And see if we can find another race that would fit here. Also, relatedly, there's been some people who have been talking about, the concept of it being your character's race rather than, clearly these are species lines. I'm very fond of half-elves who belong nowhere, so half-elves living where no one else reaches sounds cool. You know what? We haven't bumped into very many half-elves overall. I like the sound of that. If there's nothing else that jumps out at me, I'm absolutely playing on that. The citizens of the Snow Leopard, the citizens of the Leopard King found half-elves here from a time long past who have, been well adapted to the area. Dragonborn, gnome. There are gnomes on Karsus, by the way. They exist. Half-orcs, tieflings, orcs. Yeah, I like that. I like that idea of there are half-elves here. They kind of got kicked out from other assorted elven societies. So there are the citizens of the Leopard King, and the elves that were here first, which is a very fraught topic to stumble into, so I'll try to do my best to be sensitive. But half elves, and they're gonna get they're gonna get a black diamond like the skiing term, and they're gonna be over here. So this is the clan of the Black Diamond. Perhaps they have some kind of magic focus that is a black diamond or something. I'm not sure. Maybe at one point they had it and then they lost it among the tundra and it's somewhere in the snow, and they're I like this. Their coming of age ceremony is the search for the black diamond, and they go into this tundra waste over here looking for where the black diamond was. See, this also plays into what I have planned for this city, which is, I mentioned this in a much more spoilery way at the beginning of the stream before you were here, Rex, but these continents are being planned for a reason. They'll show up soonish, and what I have planned ties in there. So, okay. We've got the half-elves of the Black Diamond, the people who were native to here, and all of a sudden there is a colonial force in the citizens of the Leopard King here. And this is at the very beginning. Okay. So what's next? Factions. And then we're to events. Okay. So, how many events do we have? How much time do I have left in the stream? I have half an hour? I have half an hour. So we're not finishing this city, obviously. But we're gonna get half an hour into it. Okay. 18 citizens and 14 historical events. So let's roll for a historical event. Well, obviously, we don't have 18 citizens anymore. We do have 18 citizens because the first two tokens don't count. Okay, so 14 historical events. Let's roll for the first one. Hey, whatever I can see about the city is fine by me. Fair. 442. What is that event? I wonder if it'd be faster if I just search 442 in the PDF. It is! I can just do that. Education gains value. Kids are sent to school instead of the mines. Reading is valued and more people find work in non-manual labor. Who controls this education? So I think the citizens of the Leopard King, they expand, first of all, here. Doot. And they build a large school, and we're going to put a thought bubble here, a yellow thought bubble, because it is a large school from the citizens of the Leopard King, and they go to school here, and they learn a myriad of things, everything they can. And it's a large school at the time, and it keeps getting built upon, provided it survives into the present. And at this early point, education is settled upon as a very important matter. I like that. Alright, and we've added a citizen. So, we've done that portion. Have we decided on? Do we decide the relations between the factions now or later? We decide them a turn ago. We've established that the half elves of the Black Diamond were here before the citizens of the Leopard King, but they initially are on good terms, um, and they're about on level footing. Obviously, the Leopard King's citizens have expanded a little bit, so the elves are lacking in power now. Let's roll on the next event. Next event on the table, and find out if the elves gain some power this time. 2-1-2. 2-1-2 means a meteoric rise. Someone rises to power. What deceit or duplicity led to this increase in status, and who gets left behind? No worries. Sometimes you just kind of zone out. That's how it be. So the Black Diamond, seeing that the Leopard King's citizens have expanded a bit, they also not in Yellow Roads. They don't. They also expand upward, and I think I like the idea of deceit powering this expansion. I think that someone in a very, Music Man kind of way convinces the half elves that they need a specific school to teach people to find the Black Diamond. They are like, before they take our land, we'll take it for ourselves. Maybe. I think this single person who drives this idea has that idea, but I don't know if that is culturally an idea among the half-elves. But this single guy who is like, the pool hall is causing children to be immoral, kind of way, starts a competing school with the kids of the Leopard King faction. And this school teaches, well, mechanically speaking, ranger skills. You're tracking, you're hiding amongst the wilderness, etc., etc. Okay. Does this school have a name? The Leopard King school has a name. It's called the Clouder. I like that because it's a group of cats. Get it? Wait, no. Is a group of leopards? Do leopards have a collective noun? Because I know house cats are a clouder. Let me look. I think leopards are like a business or something. Let me Google this one. Leopards collective noun. A leap of leopards. So the school is called the Literaric Leap. The Literaric Leap. Literary Leap, maybe? Yeah, Literary Leap. The Literary Leap is the Leopard King thing. I'm saying that unironically. It's good information to have. I spelled literary terribly wrong, and that's my apologies. And this competing school of the Black Diamond, brain loading. Hang on, brain loading. Oh, brain loading. 1 second. Something with optics. This school has a name because, rangers are all about seeing things and not being seen. Is there like a half-elf group term? I kind of like the idea of these schools being competitively group termed. A group of half-elves? Group of half-elves. Group of half-elves 5e. Half-elves in 5th edition. Called Châtel Quessir in Elven, where humanoids. They're basically just humans, but more. A cornucopia is a group of humans. Maybe we can find something along that line. What's half of a cornucopia? Because like the term cornucopia is like a Greek. It originates from a Greek myth where there was like an endless horn of food. I think I kind of like Quessir, like Quessir as a term for half elves. Let's see if we can work with cornucopia and Quessir. Quiscopus? It's satisfying to say. Quiscopine? Ooh! And then this becomes a pun because it's got scope in the name. Like, scope in. Like, what are you scoping? Okay, I like that. That's what the Black Diamond School is called. Quiscopine is nice. I like it. Yes, it's a multi-language pun, and I'm about it. Okay. So now that I've gotten altogether too excited about my own ideas, let's roll again for wait. Yeah, let's roll again for events. We've used 2 citizen tokens, by the way. 636. How many citizen tokens do we have left now? Before I get too ahead of myself. We have 12 events and 16 citizens left. But this would be, this is now 11 events. Let's find out what 636 is on the table. It's probably something crazy. The land stretches and opens up. A sinkhole forms, a trench opens, a mountain pass is formed. What falls in or crawls out? I think that the students of the Quiscopine are trying to when you said crazy, I didn't expect this. I know. That's something I love about this, is like it's willing to make some crazy stuff happen. I think they are trying to en masse, like, despite magic being much more of a rarity in this part of the world, I think they are en masse trying to perform some sort of glacial ritual to change the shape of the tundra. Hang on, I didn't mean to put those roads there. They are trying to change the shape of the tundra, and it creates a massive split in the existing glacial wall that is there. So there's going to be, make the tundra more habitable and fruitful. Theoretically, it would, because there's this huge split in the glacier, so it moves in different ways, and it has another face open to produce, I don't remember the technical term, but a river within the glacier, and it's a whole thing. And there's like potentially, microbes and moss and etc. It's a whole thing. So we're going to put a great big split shape. We're going to go with this big lightning bolt. I don't like the direction it's facing. Can I like rotate this? No, I cannot. Hang on, let me do this. No. This isn't doing what I want it to. Maybe we'll just draw the zigzag ourselves. So there's a great big crackety crunch in the glacial mass now, and it comes out looking like a little bit like a river on this map, but just trust me that there's a large crack here. And yes, technically it would form an interglacial river, but I didn't want it to look like a river. I wanted it to look like a big split. So there's a big old split in the glacier, and this changes not only the difficulty of this coming of age ceremony for these people, but also just the landscape of the area in a major way. No, stop. Something isn't closed. Let me zoom in. Something isn't... that's why it's not closed. So this great big split, it is like a monumental canyon in this glacier. Perhaps they leverage some kind of long-lost Elendrid power. Elendrid is not the word I'm looking for. I reached for Elven and my brain grabbed Elendrid. With this, I imagine scholars from all over the place would come to see what happened. There was absolutely an emissary group from Anchime inspecting this, like, dang, these guys are rangers, they're half-casters, how do they do this? Like, somebody's Clockmaster Grandia dissertation was on this chasm. Several people's Grandia dissertations, probably. Like, it's a thing. The people in Anchime would know about it because it's like a huge rending of the weave to do this. And then I'm gonna add, because they were like trying to do this, obviously they gained some power on the map. I would say they gained this district. Let's say, I'm glad that paint bucket didn't work. Let's say they add this district, except that last road wouldn't be there, it would be here. So they gain another citizen. Doot. Except that's the wrong color. Oh, nice, that fixed it. Okay, so that's another event. I mean, the other faction could certainly be fearful of that accidental show of power. I think that well, let's see what happens with the leopards next turn. So that's 11 events, 15 citizens. Let's roll for the next event and see what happens with the leopards. 6, 2, 1. Ooh, something big's about to happen with the leopards, too. 621. Extreme temperatures. Freezing nights or unbearably hot winds wreak havoc. How do people and animals cope? And what parts of the infrastructure break down? I think in splitting the glacier, let's say that the Black Diamond releases some kind of cold elemental, and they, being good stewards of the land and being from here, know how to dodge its wrath. The citizens of the Snow Leopard, they do not at all. 0% they know what they're doing. But they just kind of hunker down. They, like, borrow some ideas from the Black Diamond, in that they recognize that snow is an incredibly insulative material. And, they borrow some of their cultural practices because it's the only thing that'll get them through this horrifying snowstorm. So we'll put this here, and we will brush in. I think someone maybe heard about the tundra up there, and they're headed in that direction to try and find some, easier living. And they gain a citizen. And they are not untouched by this winter. Their population booms because they're all trapped with each other, and they are inexorably affected by the half-elven traditions. They become less like their colonial head, the Leopard King, and this is when they start becoming more snow leopard-like. So that's 10 events and 14 citizens. So let's roll another event. 311. Dependence on imports. Self-sufficiency is a noble goal, but alas, the city would never survive without imported goods. What needs to be imported and who provides it? I would say that the Leopard King's citizens are technically the leading faction here, and they, as such, lose power. They have been dependent upon certain imported goods for their way of life here. You know, cats need taurine, for example, and in the halls of the Leopard King, you know, where they are from, it's very easy for them to acquire taurine-rich foods. Here, they don't know what they're doing, and they lose. I know half citizens, if not the leading faction, they are at least the ones who actually deal with the imports, unlike the very self-sufficient half-elves. Exactly. Now, I know that half citizens are not exactly a mechanic here, but they lose power, and they... No, I wanted... What if I do this, and I right-click? There we go. That's what I wanted. So they lose half of a citizen. Like so. Even though half citizens aren't a thing here, they lose some power. Because they cannot get, you know, some facet of what they need for their life here. You know, perhaps this lack of import will spiral into them escaping the being under the thumb of the Leopard King. Who knows? Depends on what I just rolled. 5, 3, 3. I'm almost done for the night. Sanitation and sewage construction. Underground sewers are overground aqueducts. The city makes sure clean water comes in and dirty water flows out. How do people adapt? I think that the Leopard King citizens, they, first of all, they expand toward the Black Diamond people area. Can I paste again? Oh, I can't. I'm glad I copy-pasted this, because that would be a pain to recreate each time. So they gain a citizen here, and they build an aqueduct to the glacial rift, which is going to have a much more fantasy name by the time we're done here, or by the time I'm done with this map. But we're going to draw a nice little... How does this... Oh, that does work like I want it to. Okay. So we're going to draw a nice little aqueduct shape here, like so. Aqueduct shape. Definitely an aqueduct shape. Oops, no. Didn't want to paste that. Wanted to do this. No, curve tool. Where did I put the curve tool? There it is. I gotta remember what I'm doing here. So, no, boop. No, boop. No, wait. There we go. Yeah. 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 So the aqueduct. Ah, no. So obviously I'm not a MS Paint wizard here, but I'll do in a pinch. Ah, apparently it wants me to find 4 points for these curves. Anyway, that shape that is definitely an aqueduct. Definitely an aqueduct shape, says Glacier. I don't know why I said my username like that. That was a very strange way to say that. I'm unused to pronouncing my username like that. Aqueduct located. That does, it kind of, like, not to rustle your jimmies, but it really does sound like a hacker typer phrase. Aqueduct located. Kept you waiting, huh? Oh my gosh, I love. Speaking of, one of the people playing in this group, is playing ostensibly Solid Snake, and uh, he let his character have a "kept you waiting, huh?" moment. I loved it. I'm really enjoying this character whose name is Barris, who's like he's based on like someone's fan build for Solid Snake, but he's making the character his own, and so I'm like down for it. Anyway, this aqueduct really steps on some toes between the Black Diamonds and the Leopard King citizens because they are yoinking the water out of the glacier, which is patently sacred to the Black Diamonds. I'm loving everyone, honestly. Barris is so freaking cool in particular. I always feel so bad because Barris has to, like, miss sessions all the time because his sleep schedule is so different from everyone else's. And, like, I feel so bad. I'm like, I have such good character hooks for your character, and, like, your character's so cool, and I can't use any of my nice character hooks, and we can't see any of your cool character because time is difficult. And, like, that being said, everyone's character is super cool. Like, the Green Rex's character, Uda, is, like, this shield maiden protective, person who is very much the mom friend of the group, and I love it. Uda's great. One of the other player characters is playing a displaced in space and potentially time Kenra from Amonkhet. The Amonkhet plane shift setting, from Magic the Gathering. So there's all that, like, spicy Magic the Gathering lore happening. And, like, this Kenra out of space and time, and everybody assumes he's just, like, a werewolf from Neuron and everything. It's a whole... There's a whole arc there, and it's great. And we're, like, getting into it deeply now. And last but not least in the group is Alviana Carter. Some of you have seen Razmatazik. Razmatazik also did a lot of my art assets for these streams and these videos. And she plays Alviana Carter, who has a lot happening that I know a lot more about the character than the group at large does, so I'm trying my best not to spoil, but she was in a tree for a really long amount of time, and she's already an elf, so, like, elves are really long-lived anyway. And, like, there's this whole, like, there's this whole arc playing out in real time about, like, we don't know whether any of her friends are alive, or... Raz plays Alviana so well. I really want Uda and Alviana to be good friends with what they already lived. Oh, yes, I agree. Like, the whole group, like, is so well poised to play off of each other, even if they're not going to be friends, they play with each other very well, and like all of you guys' backstories fits so well in what I had in mind for the overall world building of Karsus itself. Like, there's a lot I can tie in with Uda. There's a lot I can tie in with Alviana. There's a lot I can tie in with Jet. There's a lot I can tie in with Barris. And there's even more character hooks that I've been sprinkling throughout. By the time we're done here, my plan for this is to have Alviana, Uda, Jet, and Barris to be new age mythic figures on Karsus by the time we're done with this campaign. Like, provided we get to the end game of this campaign and you beat it, you beat the final boss and everything, there will be bards telling your tales. That is my goal. I plan to roll you into the setting once we are done, and then talk about the setting at great length on here or on YouTube. I I really like this setting, and I really like what you guys are introducing to the setting. Anyway, we've gotten thoroughly distracted, and I'm almost out of time. Let's play one more turn of Ex Novo. Um, and then I will have to be done for the night. Just for my own sake, but I really enjoy the way, to make an incredibly long story short, I really enjoy the way my players are interacting. Sorry so much for being so distracting, but hey, we have a lot of fun with this. We really do. I really enjoy the way that my players interact with my setting, and like, I already had clever plans for my setting, and they are injecting so much more nuance into the clever plans for the setting. Anyway, one more turn of Ex Novo. So we're down to 9 events with this. That is 365. That's the number of days in a year. 525. No, I started way too low. 525,600 minutes. Oh, spicy. Gambling increases. Who knows how to gamble, and why are they gambling? Gambling increases. We know. I get the sense that the Leopard King's citizens here are the gambling type. This is a really fun. This is a really fun thing to have happen to the area. Is the gambling one, because it's just so fun to integrate. Karsus does seem to have a lot of gambling. Karsus had a lot of gambling. But these folks aren't from Karsus. This is, what did I say this continent was called? I said it earlier in the chat. Tigoi or something like that. Let me scroll up a ways. Trugai is this continent. Trugai will not have as much gambling as Karsus, but it will have some heckin' gambling. Because Ex Novo said so. Let me erase these little citizen crumbs over here. They're gonna bother me. So they gambling. We're gonna put in a little green. Oops. Yeah, we're gonna put in a little green $. Gambling everywhere. Exactly. We're gonna put a little green $, because they. I don't think they gamble with dice. I think they gamble with cards. I think. I don't think I'm gonna like define the card game specifically, but I think they gamble with card games. They brought cards, or they make cards of some kind to gamble with, and they mostly just play for the thrill of it. You know, the equivalent would be like playing poker for pennies with your family, but you know, some of it's very serious, very intense gambling. Some people, gamble for however much of, let's say let's say rice come over as an import, or let's say they gamble for some sort of imported rarity in the food supply, or they gamble for some sort of you know they get time away from their job or something, something like that. They gamble. Some people gamble with very important things. Anyway, uh, it all sounds like the cat's whisker. Anyway, um, so that has to be it for Ex Novo tonight. This is so it just becomes actually part of the culture. Exactly. They, they're willing to gamble. They're willing to play cards to solve disputes. They're willing to play cards to get what they need. So this has been Ex Novo. We were exploring the town of Triad and the town that has yet to be named, the town of the snow leopards and the black diamond. Uh, I'm glad you had a lot of fun. I'm really glad you could join. I know your internet's been fiddly lately, and I'm really glad that it played nice. I'm going to end the recording here. I hope you have a wonderful week.